And welcome back to our top 4 cut of Psycho Turtle Plays Winter Challenge number 2 here at Psycho Turtle Plays in Peoria, California. I am Jesus Coronel, that is William Franco once again from an electrifying top 8 into a mirror match of the top 4 restricted Pokemon. We have Shane Gaffney and Alexis Harrison once again on the stream. Shane.
A whole lot of fish activities going on here. The big fish, Kyogre.
Yeah, and Shane's going to be on the Kyogre, Amoonguss, Roaring Moon, Urshifu Rapid Strike. Incineroar and Rillaboom. Alexis Harrison on the Tornadus Incarnate, Dragonite, Kyogre, Farigiraf, Shenpao, and Urshifu Rapid Strike as well. So there's 2 different philosophies with these Kyogres. Yeah. Shane's is more of a setup-oriented team. Okay. Alexis needs to get the damage in now.
Yeah, most definitely. The Calm Mind leftover set from Shane and the Choice Specs set from Alexis Harrison. One thing for sure is that this is going to be a great set between both of these. I really love the Roaring Moon on Shane's team. I think it's going to provide a lot of support and damage. Another thing that I really like from Shane's team is the Urshifu, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Water, Fire, Grass core. I think it's going to be very strong, being able to pivot, resists damage. One thing's for sure though, Alexis Harrison has priority on her side.
And a priority blocker at that too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting how these 2 teams play out. Shane, already a Gym Challenge champion before. Alexis looks silly for her first title. And the top 4 matches underway here. Alexis is going to lead the Shenpao Florame staple lead for the physical attackers, while Shane's going to lead the Urshifu and the Roaring Moon. And I will update you before we continue. The other semifinal matches, Arnie Wolf and Haley Aldworth, as we're going to see the booster energy being procced from Roaring Moon's photosynthesis boost for speed.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to see that other set, but focusing on this set currently, this lead of Dragonite Shenpao is going to provide a lot of pressure onto this Roaring Moon. We're going to see... Alright, nah.
Everything's under threat of Choice Band, Terra Normal, Tornado Rune, Extreme Speed from Dragonite. That's the issue for Shane.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, what do you do here if you're Shane? Your Urshifu is Scarf, so you cannot go for Protect.
You can protect the Roaring Moon, but you'd rather go for Tailwind.
Yeah.
And the issue really is just like, can Urshifu take some hits? Because I recall from generations past, this Dragonite mostly trained to be max attack and adamant nature. We're going to see that Terra Normal going immediately. This is going to be a lot of damage from Alexis, especially because Shane has no source of priority block.
This is a lot of damage coming out for sure. So Alexis Harrison, I'm guessing, is going to lock into the Extreme Speed.
Roaring Moon protects,
and the Extreme Speed targets into the Urshifu. Is this going to be enough to pick up the...
No, not quite!
It's not!
Urshifu does outspeed the Shenpao with that Choice Scarf, launches the U-turn, so it is going to get out of here just in time to before the Shenpao launches an attack, which I now think is going to be the Ice Spinner into the Protect of the Roaring Moon. And Incineroar comes in for Intimidate, which is going to get blocked by Inner Focus from the Dragonite, but it will affect Shenpao.
It will affect the Shenpao. Now, Shenpao has not moved yet. We're going to see where it targeted and what it did.
It is Ice Spinner into the Protect.
Yeah, really smart play there to go for the Protect onto the Roaring Moon. But unfortunately, your Urshifu took a massive amount of damage.
Yeah, and that massive amount of damage might come back to bite Shane, because this Roaring Moons typically are never known for their physical bulk at all. And not only that,
you can see Shane opting maybe to sacrifice the Urshifu.
I mean, at some point, you're going to have to realize that, you know, Alexis just outled Shane the whole way, because there was no way for Shane to at least get past the combination of Shenpao Urshifu, at least with the context of Extreme Speed doing a lot of damage. Yes, it didn't knock out the Urshifu, but that was probably because Shane trained him to do so.
Yeah.
Urshifu is going to come in for the Roaring Moon slot, expecting the Extreme Speed to go there. Where does Extreme Speed even go? It won't knock out the Incineroar. It will, in fact, target the Roaring Moon slot.
Yeah. So, I think... Alright, picks up the KO on that Roaring Moon. But Shenpao is going to move next. And it goes for Clutch, so it is going to be resisted. Incineroar taking minimal amount of damage, and the Will-O-Wisp connecting onto the Dragonite, cutting its damage by half. So it will not be doing big damage from the Extreme Speed, and will be slowly ticking, losing damage.
The other thing to note now from this position, as we are now going to see Shane switching to Kyogre for the fallen Urshifu. As I twisted my own words, I apologize for that. And now it's in a spot where it can probably start setting up Calm Minds, because the Chen-Pao is intimidated at -1, so Crunch isn't really going to be doing a lot of damage. Extreme Speed, even though it is burned, it's still boosted enough to where I think it could be acceptable damage to either of these Pokemon.
Yeah, already a really good spot here for Shane. Even though, yeah, you do lose your best attacker in the Urshifu. Now you can either choose to set up or try to pick up a crucial KO on one of these Pokemon.
And which one of these Pokemon will it be from Alexis? Well, it won't be the Kyogre because of the Protect, and it was trying to chip down the Kyogre because you know Shane's team centered around the Kyogre, sending out that Calm Mind, and Crunch comes out into the Kyogre as well.
Crunch, again, does not have Sacred Sword? No, it doesn't.
Parting Shot lands onto the Dragonite, and that is its best way to deal with the Dragonite's attack stat, because Inner Focus blocks Intimidate, but it won't block the Parting Shot, and in comes the Roaring Moon again from Shane.
Yeah. And I think you're in a prime position to be able to go for a Tailwind or try to pick up a KO.
I'm trying to wonder, because Extreme Speed is probably good enough to knock out the Roaring Moon. And because I actually think Roaring Moon is still susceptible to a double up from the Chen-Pao and Dragonite, because the booster speed is no longer in effect anymore for the Roaring Moon, so it will be slower, in fact, than the Chen-Pao.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, Shane's got to start going for Calm Minds, or at least start going for Origin Pulses.
Yeah, the Calm Mind variant of this Kyogre definitely makes it so, like, if you go for Origin Pulses, yeah, it's in rain. It's going to do a good amount of damage, but it's not going to be something like Specs.
Oh, it didn't even, oh my god.
Water.
This Extreme Speed did not target the Roaring Moon. Yeah, okay, the burn actually did a lot more than I thought it was going to do. Doubles the Kyogre again. Alexis giving no respect to this Roaring Moon, and down goes Chen-Pao as a punishment.
Wow. If you're going to go out, you gotta go out with a bang. And that was really a smart decision there from Alexis Harrison. Predicting that the Roaring Moon was going to go for a Protect. Unfortunately, though, you do go down next turn.
Or at least you should at this point. And looking at the rest of Alexis' team, like, yeah, you had to bring Tornadoes here just because this Kyogre is not going to be fast enough to launch those Choice Specs Water Spouts at all, because the disadvantage of Choice Specs is that you have to go for a speed control move, or at least take care of the speed control options from the opposing side. And for Alexis' case, Shane's speed control is Roaring Moon with Tailwind, and you really did not respect it. She didn't respect it because, well, it was probably going to be protected either way, and now Alexis is in a weird spot where it's like, if you have the Kyogre back, how are you going to be able to outspeed the rest of Shane's Pokemon?
Yeah. So now, also, when you're in this position, do you go for Tailwind? Or do you go for the Protect?
It might be a knockoff, actually, from this Roaring Moon. It's either Tailwind or knockoff, if you personally ask me. This Roaring Moon's going to take Extreme Speed very comfortably, now that Sword of Ruin's not in play anymore, and there is the Tailwind from the Roaring Moon. And importantly, this Bleak Wind Storm is being launched from the Tornadoes. It's going to get hit by Ice Beam. It's not enough to hit it for a one-hit knockout. It does get the Bleak Wind Storm off. Decent damage to both. Does it get a speed drop anywhere? No.
No speed drops. Unfortunate there for Alexis Harrison. I think that was probably the only play that you can go for. If you Tailwind, then you're just taking damage, and you're the roaring movement on the opposing side can also go for a Tailwind to match that speed. So probably hoping for a crit or the speed drop from the Bleak Wind Storm. Now, Shane in a good position to go for the Origin Pulse and swaps out the Roaring Moon for the Incineroar,
which is going to get an Intimidate nowhere, unfortunately, because, well, Inner Focus and Tornadoes is not a physical attacker in this case. I think this is a turn that Alexis has to go for a Tailwind here, as Extreme Speed's going to get launched into one of these slots. It's going to be the Roaring Moon slot, so Incineroar is going to take a decent amount of damage. Do we see Tailwind? Yes, we do. So, the Tailwinds have been matched. It's going to come down to how well this Kyogre is trained, but there is also a different trap. Origin Pulse is going to miss something. It misses the Tornadoes, unfortunately, and that's big because Dragonite was on a timer.
Yeah, the Tornadoes on the opposing side is also Covert Club, so Fake Out will not affect it.
Yeah, and that's also make my next point of emphasis, because if Tornadoes got knocked out here, Shane has an easy route to victory, which is to Fake Out and scrap Calm Minds, and now the Kyogre from Alexis can't really touch a lot of Shane's Pokemon. And But because the Origin Pulse missed Tornadus, now Bleakwind Storm could potentially knock out Kyogre if it gets lucky enough.
I think we're going to see... No, I said we were going to see a big Water Spout, but of course the Incineroar on the field will be able to take it out, prevent it from moving this turn. But what do you do next?
That's the thing, because Origin Pulse is not going to knock out Kyogre, but more importantly, what does Alexis lock into? Because Alexis has already Terra, so Terra Blast is not an option for Kyogre unless you really think you need to get some single target damage out consistently. There's the Fake Castle, we're not going to know immediately. This Tornadus is going to go for the Bleakwind Storm, doesn't knock out either Pokemon, puts Incineroar in the yellow range, no speed drop. We now know that Alexis' Kyogre is faster. The Origin Pulse with Shane's Kyogre double connects.
Okay, now we have a low HP Incineroar and a low HP Kyogre.
Rain stopped.
Ooh.
It's just detrimental to both players, but it's probably going to affect Alexis a lot more than Shane.
Yes, most definitely. The choice specs on Alexis' side. Do we think that a Water Spout picks up both KOs here on the Kyogre and the Incineroar?
That's the thing, because if you lock yourself into a Water Spout, you're going to take enough damage where it's going to get progressively weaker. And I don't know if Alexis wants to do that. I mean, yes, it's accurate. It's going to knock out Incineroar.
Yeah.
It might not knock out Roaring Moon, especially because, you got to lock into an Origin Pulse, because you still have to deal with a Roaring Moon in the back that's inherently faster. It connects on the Incineroar, so Shane might be in an awkward spot.
Yeah, now Shane does have the Roaring Moon left in the back. You bring in the Roaring Moon and you're stuck in a weird position where you're like, do I go for the Tailwind?
I need to stop right now because Shane's Tailwind runs out. So for one turn, the Kyogre for Alexis is faster than Shane's Roaring Moon, but very obvious move from Shane, protect the Roaring Moon.
Yeah, you're right. Roaring Moon can go for the protect. Now, does the knockoff or the acrobatics pick up the KO on the Kyogre? That's my question.
That's interesting because you're hoping that the Origin Pulse does not enough knock out the Roaring Moon with the choice specs, and if you get the knockoff off, double connects. Okay, Alexis is Kyogre, double connects the Origin Pulse, doesn't knock out either Pokemon, unfortunately! Knockoff comes out from the Roaring Moon, doesn't knock out the Kyogre, but removes the choice specs from the Kyogre. Origin Pulse misses!
No way! But it's okay.
It's Roaring Moon's faster.
Hey, don't freak out, everybody. Everybody in the venue freaked out for a second. Shane is in the commanding position.
Yeah, because now the Tailwind's gone, so...
Go for acrobatics.
Or another knockout, just to be sure. Okay. We're getting done with the 85 accuracy stuff from the legendary Pokemon today. Doesn't matter, because this Roaring Moon's still in the win condition. The Kyogre's not a win condition anymore. And it's also like, the choice spec has also been knocked out, so Alexis has to choose which move to lock into. It's Origin Pulse again. Does it connect into Kyogre? Yes. It's still the same question as the last turn. Is Roaring Moon faster than Kyogre naturally for these no speed clauses?
I would imagine so. The future and the past Paradox Pokemon have really high speed stats.
A lot of them do, at least. There's some victims with like the low speed energy, Iron Hands.
Yeah.
It is faster. Acrobatics knocks out the Kyogre. Shane gonna narrowly win game number 1.
Wow. Yeah, that was a really close end game between these two trainers. I will say, though, it came down to that Roaring Moon just being able to provide so much utility. And it also picked up the last KO.
Yes, it did. That knockoff definitely was the last straw that the Roaring Moon needed. Even that Tailwind, too, because without that Tailwind, Alexis would have had the faster Pokemon throughout the entire the time.
Yeah.
And it's not to show that Alexis has the perfect counter, because obviously Chien-Pao Dragonite against no priority protection. We do now know that it is not enough to knock out Ursa in a single hit. We do not know if that's enough to knock out Roaring Moon in a single hit, or, as a matter of fact, any of these Pokemon.
Now, I'm wondering about the adjustment here from Alexis, because we saw how strong Chien-Pao Dragonite was as a lead, but Shane does have the Will-O-Wisp, and if that Will-O-Wisp did not connect, or if they didn't have it, I think that Dragonite could have ran with the game.
It could have, and that's why the burn had to be put up on the Dragonite, and that's also why the parting shot had to go there. Because if neither of those things go into the Dragonite, it's going to run rampant, like, even though it gets burned. At neutral, with the Sword of Ruin, Choice Band, and Terra boost, it's still going to do a lot of damage, and you are going to end up, still taking a lot of damage when you really shouldn't want to.
Wow, I'm excited for this game too. I think we have two trainers that are very knowledgeable. It's like a clash between two masterminds when it comes to positioning, as well as just like their overall like game plans. I love to see high-level VGC played.
I mean, that's what we get every time a Sakatoro plays. I mean, are you not entertained, everybody at home?
Yeah, everybody at home, make sure you guys are following the stream as well as chatting in the chat. Just let us know how you feel about this set.
It's the same lead.
It's the same lead again from Alexis.
But something different from Shane is going to be that Rocky Helmet Among Us and Roaring Moon.
Yes.
And I think this is important to ask because, fun fact for you guys, Extreme Speed and Rage Powder both have the same priority.
Wow. Okay.
So, Dragonite's Extreme Speed will be faster to hit the Roaring Moon, and that's why Shane's going to protect immediately.
Saw how Shane locked into that very quickly. The confidence to go for that play. Now Alexis is still deciding what to choose. It's a tough choice.
A funny thing that Alexis could do is rely on Outrage randomness to hit the Amoongus and knock it down in a single hit. That could be an option, but I think that's way too risky to go for. Oh yeah.
The Amoongus is Terra Steel. So if they Terra Steel, it will resist the Extreme Speed and the Outrage.
Which are going to be the two most popular options. Shane's going to Terra. Shane's going to Terra.
It might be that Amoongus into the Terra Steel. Yes, it is. So, Rage Powder or Spore?
I had to assume Spore because Shane did lock in Protect, because you know about the Extreme Speed versus Rage Powder calculations and priority. There was no Terra from Alexis side. So we see Crunch go into the Amoongus. It's still neutral. It's going to lose its focus sash thanks to that Rocky helmet that's going to be taking. Stomping Panthers reads the Terra.
Read.
Does it
KO?
not? Yes, it does.
Oh my goodness, Alexis Harrison with the crazy read.
And Terra's down turn one immediately from Shane, and Rory Moon protected, thinking it was going to be Extreme Speed from this Dragonite. Instead, there was none. The only benefit Shane got is the focus sash is gone.
Okay, now you're locked in to Stomping Tantrum.
And Searching Strikes is in range of the Chanpao.
But I will say that turn one play was so worth it because it was either a lose, like a 100% lose situation, or if you get this read, you win. And you had to play into your outs. And I think that's what's keeping Alexis in this game right now.
And if your Dragonite has to switch out this turn because, well, Stomping Tantrum with the Sword of Ruin is not doing a lot of damage to either of these Pokemon. It might do have to Roaring Moon, but Roaring Moon's definitely going to have a turn to go for Tailwind.
Roaring Moon can't get... Oh, it can, actually. It's Dragon Dart.
Yes,
I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was Dragon Flying, just like Dragonite.
We confuse Roaring Moon with Salamence pretty often, don't worry. There's a switch out to Tornadus.
Don't tell me it gets Fly.
There's the knockoff onto the Chanpao, so it is going to remove that Focus Sash just in case it happens to get back to full HP.
Yeah.
And Searching Strikes doubles into the Chanpao, so all Alexis did this turn was reposition the Dragonite, and I think Tornadus doesn't mind being in this position.
No, not at all, because you could, if you wanted to, go for the Tailwind. I don't think it's necessary in this situation, though, because you do have the Dragonite still. It does have Terra Normal. We did see Shane's Urshifu survived the Extreme Speed with 6 HP left. So it could be a roll, or it might just be EV to survive the Extreme Speed.
But keep in mind, that was with the Sword of Ruin up, and Chanpao's officially gone. So Dragonite going to come back in from Alexis' side of the field.
You're so right.
And now it's a matter of, do you want to lock into Extreme Speed just to make sure you have the priority bracket, or do you want to lock into Outrage?
I see the play here, and we're going to see if Alexis Harrison recognizes the play as well.
Do you mind explaining what the crowd what the play is?
I think could win with Tailwind Outrage.
That's what I was thinking is the move, because Outrage should still do enough damage to knock out either of these Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like,
you're just in a really bad position if they choose to protect and you target into the Roaring Moon.
yeah, and that's the thing with Outrage. You don't know who you're targeting.
No, you're gambling. It's just literally a form of gambling.
Rory was going for the knockoff. No, Tailwind comes out for this Tornadus, and that's a lot of damage into the Tornadus with the Cobra Cloak being removed. And no Tailwind's going to come out whatsoever. Tornadus goes down to a combination blow of knockoff and Surging Strikes.
I'm so surprised. Now I'm wondering, what did Alexis lock into?
It's got to be Outrage. There's no way. it's going to be any other attack. It's outrage. It locks into Urshifu. How much damage this is doing? Knockout!
Picks up the knockout on the Urshifu. Now you're just wondering, like, did they go for Bleak Windstorm last turn?
Yes! I think so.
Yeah, now.
And now both Kyogre's coming here, but here's the problem. Kyogre, although it is faster than the Kyogre of Shane, won't be faster because the Roaring Moon still has the booster speed, meaning Tailwind goes up.
Yeah.
And now, since the Dragonite cannot Terrasilize because of the Outrage lock, is it bait the Ice Beam, or is Shane going to go ahead and click Origin Pulse? Because Ice Beam's a safe move on the Dragonite, but it's like, are you worried about the damage output from Kyogre? If you are, you click Knockoff onto the Kyogre to knock out the Choice Specs.
Makes sense. Yeah. Dragonite definitely being a threat, locked into Outrage, has the most damage potential. Just with the Roaring Moon on the field now, you have this control, and it allows the Kyogre to go for an attack, presumably the Ice Beam into the Dragonite 4 times super effective. But
there's this Terrasilize from Alexis' Kyogre into that Water type, so she's going to go all in on the Kyogre.
Oh! Is this Terra Blast?
It could be. It could be Terra Blast Water, which does get around accuracy drops, or any sort of accuracy, as we do see Shane go for Tailwind, meaning his Kyogre is now faster than the rest of the field. Is this Ice Beam going into the Dragonite? It is. And now, what did the Kyogre do from Alexis' side? Because, well, if it's Water Spout, it's going to be devastating damage. If it's not, then you got to rely on Origin Pulse. Double connecting, which it does!
Origin Pulse, double connect, how much damage does it do?
With the Choice Specs in the rain, not enough!
That still does so much. One more will be able to secure it, but that's if.
That's if it gets there.
More. And the knockoff also lowering the damage.
And now Shane's in a weird spot because you're not doing a lot of damage to Kyogre because of his natural special attack stat, special defense stat. Excuse me. You have Tailwind advantage against this Kyogre, so you can knock out the Choice Specs, meaning it's going to do less damage to the Kyogre, so it's going to survive. It just does Shane's Kyogre have enough in the tank to win this game.
Yeah, we're going to see it once again goes down to the Kyogre endgame. They save their Kyogres to the end, and they will fight until the end.
There is a knockoff. Down goes the Choice Specs. That's how we're half damage.
Wow. Really strong. That's a stab knockoff.
It missed! The Origin Pulse missed the Kyogre. Double connect from Alexis' side, however, is going to knock out the Roaring Moon. The Kyogre should survive. It will.
Okay.
Once again, this game comes down to whether or not Origin Pulse connects.
Let's go gambling.
I personally do not like this because of the shaky accuracy moves, but I've been told this before by some trainers. Sometimes the risk is worth the reward.
Are these the last 2 Pokemon?
Yes.
Yes, they are. All right. Now, do you...
The thing is, Origin Pulse is now single target.
Yeah.
And Shane's is faster for one more turn.
No, they're so right. Terra Blast Water. They're not...
oh, yeah, the Choice Specs have been knocked off.
Choice Specs have been knocked off. Goes for the Protect here.
That's for more Leftovers recovery. That's okay, Alexis is still technically Origin Pulse because of the power.
Yeah.
But you did point out Terra Blast Water is not a terrible option to go for. No. But was this the last turn of Rain? I don't think it is. We have a bit more HP recovery than Kyogre. There's another turn of Rain. What does the Kyogre do for Shane? It's going to connect the Origin Pulse. Does not knock out.
Does this connect?
Yes, it does. I think we got a Game 3. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it connects to the Kyogre. We do have another Game 3.
Wow.
And a critical hit, too.
Wow. It mattered. Maybe.
So if anyone wants to try a couple of these teams out for a spin for the upcoming San Antonio Regionals or the upcoming Grand Challenge for January, this may be the inspiration because these trainers are taking it down to Game 3 once again.
Kyogre is also one of those mons. If you see it in the game preview, is that Cloak, is that Scarf, is that Specs,
Assault Vest,
Assault Vest, Mystic Water. Kyogre is definitely a really good mon to have for the GC. But in OTS, it's still just as fun, and both of these trainers are doing a great job at showing us that.
Yeah, and here we got another interesting Game 3 situation. So let's recap Game 2. So Alexis went for Stomping Tantrum, and I think that was the key part of why Alexis was able to win this game, because no Amoonguss for Shane was definitely screaming, "Oh, wait a minute, I have no support."
Coolest play. I loved that play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to wonder here, Alexis, if you do the same thing, because I do have to anticipate Chen Pao Dragonite lead once again from Alexis' side of the field. And it's just like, her move's going to depend on what Shane brings.
It does feel like the strongest lead. One thing I wouldn't mind seeing here is Tornadus, Kyogre lead. I think just based on how they've been leading so far, it would be a very strong option.
If it's faster than Roaring Moon, I can see that being an option.
Yeah.
Because Roaring Moon should be the faster thing.
Because if Shane leads with Amoonguss again, then you have Origin full start.
Now it's Chen Pao Dragonite again.
Okay, so it is the Chen Pao Dragonite.
It's Roaring Moon Amoonguss again. Now, there's the mind game, because the last time this happened, Shane Terra Steel.
Yeah.
Does he do it again?
We're about to find out right now. It's very unfortunate. Like, oh, turn 1, guess this wrong and you lose. You guess it right and you probably win. It's never confirmed, but this is a very important turn already in the turn 1. Same lead as game 2.
And the same Pokemon from game 3 is Shane. We see Urshifu, Rapid Strike, and Kyogre in the back, just for you guys to be aware of for his situational preferences. And yeah, it looks like Shane's content to tell Alexis, hey, wait a minute, you're not going to target the Terra Steel twice, aren't you? And then, yeah, that's not the only thing that you could consider, because like, if you think Alexis is going to double up the Amoonguss again, then I think Roaring Moon does have a free turn to go for acrobatics or knock off. Okay, never mind. We're going to see the same exact turn 1 play from Shane.
This time around,
this is a Terra from Alexis!
See a Terra is going to be Terra normal. I don't think they went for the Stomping Tantrum play that won them that game too.
And we do see the Terra from Shane as well into that Terra Steel Amoonguss. So, where did this extreme speed go? Presuming that's what it is.
Yeah. Probably into the Roaring. They're not going to make that same play that they did before.
Alright, there's Shane's Roaring Moon going for to protect. What does Alexis' Dragonite do here? Extreme Speed into the Amoonguss, so you get all the boost, but you're not doing a lot of damage. Yeah, that's not like...
That still did a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's still considerable considering your situation. Once it doubles the Amoonguss, it is going to survive on 55 HP, and I did see Spore get locked in from the Amoonguss, and down goes to sleep is the Dragonite.
Yeah, so this is exactly the board state that Shane was opting to go for in that game 2. Terra Steel the Amoonguss and Spore the Dragonite, prevent it from going for big extreme speeds, and that's exactly what he did. So now you have options. You can go for the Spore into the Dragonite slot, predicting a swap out, or just try to get a Pollen Puff onto the Chen Pao.
There's the first turn of sleep from Alexis Harrison. You know, her Dragonite has done so much work just to get this far. Here's a Rage Powder from the Amoonguss, excuse me. Here's a knockoff onto the Dragonite. Doesn't quite knock it out, but does knock out the Choice Band importantly.
Yeah.
And the Ice Spinner would have loved to go to the Roaring Moon, but instead it's going to knock out the Amoonguss.
Yeah. Really smart play to go for.
That crit might have mattered, actually.
Yeah, it might have. I don't think it would have KO'd without the crit.
Again, that Ice Spinner would have loved to go for the Roaring Moon, but it got redirected because of the Rage Powder.
Yeah. Funny enough, even though Shane is in a commanding position, he's the first to lose the Pokemon.
I mean, Dragonite might be next because depending on whether or not it gets a one-turn sleep here, it might not get enough damage to anything. And Urshifu isn't range to Surging Strike, so
it is.
I mean, Chen Pao, excuse me. I keep misplacing the Pokemon.
It's okay. It is definitely like I trade 1 and you give me 2 kind of situation where now Alexis has to consider, do I sack both of these Pokemon? I have a low HP Chen Pao who's slower than the Urshifu Rapid Strike.
And Dragonite takes a second turn of sleep.
And I have a sleepy Dragonite that unfortunately...
Sucker Punch into the Urshifu. Okay. That's not doing a lot of damage, unfortunately. Acrobatic Silk into the Dragonite, knocks it out. Surging Strike should be next from the Urshifu Rapid Strike machine. Down goes the Terra, down goes Alexis the Dragonite on her side of the field. Here comes the Surging Strike. It is going to knock out the Chen Pao. Yes.
Oh yeah. Sometimes Surging Strikes, I feel like the first hit of it is like, wait, what? And then the second hit is like big damage, right?
Alright, Alexis is already down to her final 2 Pokemon, and she has to deal with a Booster Speed, Roaring Moon, and a Choice Scarf Urshifu. if there's a Tornadus there, that can be counteracted, and that is what's coming out from Alexis' side.
Okay.
First, the Tornadus, shiny Tornadus.
Wait, is this Tornadus Kyogre?
Yes, it is!
Wait, hold up.
This could be, no, well, first of all, there's no Terra, There's no Terra, but that's still a Choice Specs boosted, Rain boosted Water Spout.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be able to pick up knockouts on either of these two. Maybe the Ursh.
It's going to knock out the Urshifu. I'm more so wondering does it knock out the Roaring Moon. It has a high HP stat and a pretty high special defense stat.
Yeah, it's not going to knock out.
Oh, no Tailwind!
No Tailwind again!
No more Choice Specs for the Kyogre. Surging Strikes. It's Rain boosted, so it's going to betray the Tornadus. Kyogre's down to a 1v3!
What? You would that's two games already where the Tailwind could have been really nice, and they opted to go for Bleak Wind Storm. What
did Alexis do with the Kyogre? The Origin Pulse double connects on both of these Pokemon. It won't knock out either Pokemon. Shane Gaffney is going to go ahead and knock out the Kyogre with Surging Strikes plus Acrobatics, and here goes the Acrobatics. Not enough to knock out the Urshifu, but Surging Strikes will finish it off. Shane Gaffney returns to Grand Finals 2-1 over Alexis Harrison.
Wow, really fun set between both Kyogres. Alexis Harrison falling to Shane Gaffney. Shane once again in a position to win Psycho Turtle.
Yeah, he's done it before the end of the year in December during Regulation H. And he's looking to take the second tournament of Regulation G in a landslide with that Kyogre thing. You know, very bulky, you know, just like those Terrapagos teams. But the difference between Terrapagos and Kyogre is that you don't have to Terrasilize.
Yeah. I do think that if Dragonite did not Terra Normal in that game, possibly Tailwind plus Terra Water Spout could have been huge damage.
It could have been, but we're never going to know that one. Anyway, Grand Finals will be next on stream. And who will it be on the other side? Will it be Arnie Wolf or will it be Haley Aldworth taking on Shane Gaffney? Find out after this break.